Can you go?
She was.
Some mic stuff. I know, so you can. I don't sure. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
Sorry.
So, we want you.
Okay, so. It's okay. Okay.
Hey, we'll bring this meeting to order. You can join me in the pledge of allegiance. Bob, would you lead us, please? Pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Almighty God, we pray this day for your ever enduring guidance. We ask you to cloak us in wisdom and fortitude that we may dispense our knowledge and facts intelligently among all humanity of whom we serve. Amen.
In Jesus' name.
Okay, could we get an announcement of closed session, please?
We thank the chair of the board, met in closed session this morning. First item on the closed session agenda, conference with legal counsel was pulled. Second item was conference with labor negotiator, Andy Platt, and, bargaining units were Lassen County Police Officer Associations and United Public Employees of California, or UPEC. And that, session was held. The board also added as a late emergency item closed session pursuant to Government Code 54957, threat to public services or facilities, consultation with Don Garba and Silas Rojas, Office of Emergency Services, and the report out for that item was direction provided to staff. The remainder of the closed session agenda was continued to the end of the regular session.
Thank you. I'm looking for agenda.
Actually, I'd like to, I don't have to make a motion or what, but I want to pull item H3.
H3, okay.
Wait till.
It's
Yes, it was the agreement between, Community Professional Services and Lassen County. I think there's a discrepancy in terms of, we approved this contract back in December. And, it appeared to be pretty much the same contract, but there's the need for some revision perhaps and, give staff time to kind of re-review that.
We also need to relate section to So with those two deletions from the agenda as well as the addition for the whole section that was created by county council, I was using.
Can I have a motion to approve?
I'll second.
Can I have a second? Those in favor? Aye. Opposed? So moved. Hey. Jason, you want, public comment. You have any public comment?
Hello, I'm Tiffany Armstrong. I'm from Lassen County Behavioral Health, and thank you, everybody. I'm here today to share with you that we have the save the date for our annual Veterans Stand Down. We're super excited. This is going to be a whole new, kind of a different for us from the previous years. We're going to have it at a different date and a different location. So I'm putting the word out there. It is going to be held on April 18th. And it'll be here at the Veterans Hall. So I'm super excited about this. We're trying to get the word out there for all of the folks who want to have maybe vendors participating in this event. And this is really to help our folks that are veterans that are currently struggling, homelessness, maybe not being able to find work. We're trying to get as many vendors out at this event to help assist them. I know the folks at the Reno Veterans Center will be coming up with their vans to get people on disability if they need that. So we're putting the word out there, and if anybody would like more information, please give us a call. I have our phone number printed on this. So if you have any questions, please, by all means, let me know. The one thing that did change is that we thank Jason for being the kind of the spokesperson, but we are having each year, we're going to do something different. We're going to have a new representative from the board to actually participate in the veteran stand down. So we're going to start with the chair for this year, and then next year we'll go to the vice chair. So every single person will have representation at our veterans event. So I'm hoping we'll be able to have another one next year. And please get the word out for everybody. So I've left you copies. So if anybody wants to pick them up, come on.
Thank you. Anyone else for public comment?
Good morning. My name is Brenda Narayan. I know I've introduced myself in the past. I'm PG&E's Government Affairs Representative, and I was last here 4 months ago when it was, I was here with my colleague David Hawks, and we gave a relatively comprehensive update on a variety of topics. And I just wanted to check in again with you just to remind you of my role, that I am here to support you and the county as well. I also wanted to mention that I'm sorry that I couldn't be here in December, and to thank you for acknowledging PG&E's role. That really meant a lot to us. I do want to touch on a couple of issues and to follow up on one in particular. Supervisor Alba, you had asked for an update on EVs when I was here in October. And so I just wanted to share with you that that program is moving along, and I know that there are issues specific to rural communities, and I've actually was talking to Elmite about some of those the last time I was here, but If the county's interested, I just wanted to give you a deadline of June 30th to just submit your interest in talking with PG&E about infrastructure, because we are at capacity. So we just wanted to put that out to you, that June 30th is a deadline, and I can coordinate with your county administrator on that as well. And then just second, that PG&E continues to coordinate and collaborate with LMUD and and NV Energy on the Skedaddle substation project. I also just want to hit just kind of briefly on rates and affordability, which is at the forefront of minds. And I recognize that the customer base here, although it could be considered low, it's still very, very important. And to remind you that all costs that customers pay are approved by PUC, the PUC, which is PG&E's regulators. But and then rates did come down at the beginning of the year, and that was because some of the fees that were in the 2023 to 26 general rate case came off, and there will be another reduction in March. But the supervisor, although I left a stack of paper with you when I was last here, and I can follow up with you later, but the penetration rates for CARE and VERA remain low here in Lassen County. And again, although the customer household number is low, I think it's really important. And I can commit to working with our team to get the word out about these programs, discounts that can be substantial. Anyway, that's really what I wanted to update you on. And yeah, wish you a happy new year, which it's February, but yeah, it's good to be here.
Leave on, about Lassen Power out there at Westwood, the cogeneration plant, are they gonna get that interchange in there?
So thank you for bringing that up. We received a letter that acknowledged the letter. It is a customer issue, so I was able to connect the customer with our specialized team to work on what was remaining and what was needed. So we have been in communication with them, and I don't know where things are at this point. But again, out of respect for the customer, I can't share information. But
Okay.
yeah,
I don't know either. So.
yeah, okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other public comment?
Morning, gentlemen. I'm Teresa Phillips. I'm Public Relations Manager with Lassen MUD, and thank you to Brenda for being here today. Just wanted to give you a quick update. Brenda did mention the Skedaddle substation, and that'll be our connection to NV Energy. The construction is basically done out there. Our transformers have arrived. Some of you saw them going through town. In December, we had the phase shifting transformer. There was some issues with that transformer, so it's still sitting on the pad waiting for final inspection. So we're working with legal to figure out there was some damage somewhere on the rail line. So that transformer came from Brazil. As you know, that transformer is subject to a $3 million tariff because it came from Brazil. And just to clarify, there was nowhere for us to source that in the United States. So we ordered that transformer in, I think, 2022. So it took a while to build it, but there were no tariffs at that time. So we're waiting to see what happens with that. I have a meeting in DC with Nick Dominguez, our general manager. We're going to be talking to the DA's office and the Department of Energy to see what if we can move the needle on that $3 million hit, because that's a direct hit to us. We have a $30 million a year budget, so that's a big chunk of our budget that would go to that. But everything else is on track. We're working on doing another video to update folks. But if you've driven out there by HL Power, you'll see a lot of bright lights now. And we expect to be intertied with NV Energy by the end of the year, but we will still have our interconnection with PG&E through Westwood. And we're working on exploring the transmission with them as well, which is something we've been working on for a while. But if you have any questions about that or anything else at Belmont, I'm happy to answer them for you.
Go ahead.
Are you guys looking into building your own transformers to sell within the United States? My goodness.
I know, isn't that crazy? Yeah, the two transformers came from Mexico, and those came over before the tariff. We missed the tariff deadline by, I think, 3 days out of Brazil. So we got hit with that. It seems unfair, but we're doing everything that we can to mitigate that cost. And we haven't paid it yet. So we're still waiting to see what happens. But yeah, that'd be a great business to get into.
I have a quick question.
Yeah.
For the PG&E power going to Westwood, is that still up the Caribou Canyon?
Yeah, and PG&E has been doing, Brenda and I were just talking about how much they've done to harden that line
Good.
and to make it fire resistant and weather resistant. I mean, we had the big outage at Christmas time, so that was a lot of fun. PG&E had their issue fixed within 2 hours, I think. So we were back up on that transmission, but we ended up with so much localized outages from the heavy snow. We had tree limbs in the lines, we had lines down, Eagle Lake, sorry, we were out for 4 days. That was not fun. I was telling Brenda, we had linemen that were basically working around the clock, going home, taking naps, coming back and getting stuff done. We had about 10 linemen. So I think we had everybody fully restored the Monday after Christmas.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
So it's good. Anything else? All right, thanks so much.
Any other public comment? Oh, we're over time on the agenda report. Can we make them quick?
We will make it quick.
Okay, go ahead. Start, Jason.
Over the break, attended a very productive Sierra Alliance meeting. From the solar field to the runway project and everything else, it's pretty much full steam ahead. We should be looking towards getting some conditional use permits and everything in place with those projects. Also, the draft 395 freight feasibility study has been released from Caltrans District 2. Fairly optimistic. The funding from these studies will definitely bring some more money into the 395 projects that are already on the books, the safety project and the CAPM project. Also, I wanted to thank the Cole family. They're here for co-sponsoring, bringing Sheriff Chad Bianco to come up and speak to everybody last night. It was a well-attended event, and it was a good time. I'm optimistic for the state for once. I'll be attending air pollution meeting later on today. And that's about all I got. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Aaron. Oh, and I need to adjourn the meeting in memory of Phyllis. I'm sorry. Thank you.
I'd like to turn today's meeting in memory of Jeff Bidwell. Just a great man. It's just be a big loss for that. To the community. I'd like to designate $500 of my discretionary funds to the Lassen County Search and Rescue. Tomorrow I'll be attending an REI meeting via Zoom. To talk about some of our interactions to get the legislatures out to the rural counties. We'll be talking about that tomorrow. Yesterday, I was also on a Zoom meeting with Steve Hilton. He's another candidate for governor. That was through RCRC. They're interviewing all the different governor candidates, and I happen to be on the Steve Hilton one. So he did a very good job. He spoke very articulate, very well. He also would be good that, I mean, like Jason says, I mean, there's a bright light into the tunnel. Hopefully we get somebody in there that's different from what we got now. That's for darn sure. And then also on last week, I went over to Siskiyou County. I was invited with Gary Bridges and I went over to Siskiyou County for met with Paul Souza, a couple of the county supervisors over there, as well as we went out and toured some of the ranches where the wolves have had serious depredation problems over there. And so we toured those and talked about the problems we have there, or that they've been having. And then we, that night, they had a meeting with all the producers of the county that were there. They had a very good turnout. James Gallagher, he also showed up for that, which was good to see him there and get him up to speed on his potential district that he's going to be representing back in DC. You know, with Paul Souza, you know, there's a light into the tunnel. He's actually somebody that actually kind of cares. He's with the U.S. Department of Fish and Wildlife Services. And so, you know, he helped move the needle on the California side of things over to Sierra Valley. So hopefully we can do the same thing here. I know Juan Fish and Lagarde for reaching out and he's touching base with him. We can come here to Lassen County, but that's to be determined yet. So anyway, it was a very good meeting. Siskiyou County did a good job of representing themselves, and we hope to be able to do the same when it comes to Lassen County. So anyway, I'll leave it there. Actually, want to make it short. So
Thank you.
Okay. All right, I attended, the, emergency food access, plan meeting. And, I it was, real informative for me. And so they're gonna have another meeting here on the 18th. I also attended LAPCO yesterday. And, I'll be attending the, air pollution meeting after our meeting. That's it.
Sure. On January 27th, I attended the Lassen Regional Solid Waste Management Association meeting, and he pretty much described the staffing challenges they're facing out there, which is pretty severe. And trying to meet with that. I met with constituents in Spalding about some of their issues. On February 2nd, I attended the Westwood Community Service District meeting. On February 3rd, I attended the Planning Commission meeting. On February 5th, I attended the Clear Creek Community Service District meeting, and that went really well. Yesterday, I attended the LAPCO meeting, and attended also the Chad Bianco event last night. And hearing different candidates, it's good to hear the different side of things. And then I also met with constituents in Westwood yesterday, a couple of different people. And later today, I've got the Air Pollution Control District meeting as well. So,
Okay, thank you. Let's see, I also attended that emergency food workshop. And they've got some good stuff in the works for the future. I learned a lot, didn't you, Tom?
Mm-hmm.
And I attended the WOOF workshop up in Wairika. I think the thing that kind of shocked me the most, there was one ranch that had 41 confirmed deprimations. That's a lot of lost cattle. That's just the ones that they could confirm. They've been hit really hard up there. And like Supervisor Albaugh said, I am impressed with Souza. I think he does care, and he's a voice for us. And I attended an agenda meeting on the 4th, behavioral meeting last night. I leave for Sacramento the 11th for CSAC Board of Directors meeting on the 12th. And the 13th, I have a NORTEC Executive Committee meeting. And don't forget this weekend, Valentine's Day, so don't forget your sweethearts. I would like to donate $1,000 to the Blue Star Moms out of my discretionary fund. And I'd like to close the meeting in memory of Richard Parker. We went to grade school together. He's a good guy. Also like to close the meeting in memory of Rhonda Templeton. And I'd also like to close the meeting in memory of Juanita Bennett. The sad thing was, both those women were the mothers of a couple that's married, and it all happened within a couple of days. It was kind of a rough week. That concludes my report. And let's see. We have one. County fishing.
well, I guess I can address that a little bit.
Okay.
Well, I can nominate Robert McGarvey for that position. I've searched far and wide through my district at times. I had to appoint another person, my son-in-law actually, who is an alternate, doesn't live in my district. And it was brought to my attention that Mr. McGarvey was willing to take on that position, and so I got to talk to him. Anyway, I think he'd be a great candidate and a real asset to the board and to the Fishing Game Commission. So I think we'll get his application.
So is that a motion?
That is a long-winded motion.
Okay, do I have a second? And I have a second.
Discussion.
Pardon?
Discussion.
Yeah, discussion. Is any comment from the public? Back up here.
You know, I just want to say thank you, Bob, for stepping up and doing this. I know it's not an easy job sometimes. There's a big task. There's a lot of things coming up the pipeline, and I know that you can be articulate and pointed with the words sometimes, and I expect you to be that way. Don't weaken on it, because we need that, so. I think Mike did a good job, you found a good man, and I'm proud of you, Mike, good job.
I think you found me anyway.
Any other discussion? Okay. Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Welcome aboard, Bob. Thank you. We really appreciate it.
Thank you, love.
Okay.
I got this one.
Let's see. 1, 2, 3.
I do, let's see, I'm gonna go, G3 and G7. So,
Uh, G4. G6, G7.
Yeah, okay, 7's already full.
Oh. Did Aaron put 7?
Yeah, I did.
make the most fast now.
Okay, I'm looking at that now. Like, seconds. It's pretty good. Is there any public discussion on that? Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Still move. You're up with 3.
These are the minutes. I have to, this is on page 6. It's item D3, just to clarify the motion to change the verbiage on that to determine that the recorded non-renewal notice is appropriate. Yeah, I would like to have that, just make that change to the motion, because it was worded differently, just makes it more clear. So with that change, I would look approval of the minutes without amendment.
I'll second.
Okay, 1 second. Go ahead for public comment. Public comment on that? There is none. I'll bring you back up here. Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So move. 4.
Okay. G4.
Good morning, James Briall from Community Social Services.
Okay, the one question that I had, Jason, is, on the recommendations to, was, for 8 vehicles and you're only asking for 7. Is there, I mean,
Yes, sir.
was it just a change of your mind or what?
No, there's a reason for it. We're actually working on doing a bid on what would be an ADA approved vehicle that would help us transport people with medical needs in response to the increase in 5150s. So we're reserving that final, and you guys will probably see it here pretty soon, a request for an ADA vehicle. So that would be that 8th and final replacement out of the gate. Right now, these 7 are just going to replace standard vehicles that are in the fleet with a like replacement. But that other one will be a vehicle. What we're looking at right now is a vehicle in which someone in a wheelchair could drive on through the back on a ramp. So we're still working. We're looking at those, and we're going to probably want to go maybe see one in person or do a virtual walkthrough before we bring that purchase. But I didn't want the rest of the fleet to be held up as we needed to do some of those vehicle replacements. So this would be for the remaining 7, but yeah, we will be bringing ideally one for an ADA vehicle, which would be the 8.
Is there any questions from the public? Promotion. Oh, okay, go ahead.
Jason, have you ever thought about,
Sorry.
opening up your own dealership in here?
You know, I will say, if John is interested in getting in the business, it's somewhere between both of us. He's motor pool and I'm apparently the person who's doing the transports. So, yeah, it's, you know, I will say this is new to us, but I'm grateful to see a vehicle acquisition that, moving forward, since I've been here, this is my first one. And, some of the fleet is moving past, the point of where I think they should be on the road. The other thing is that we move into auction after this for those vehicles, and so positive plug to the community to maybe come see the auction when we get there.
Yeah, you gotta have good vehicles on the road, so.
I have a question for you. Have you looked into a lease?
I think it's worth looking into in the long run, but again, this is the first time I've kind of done acquisition, but it would be more of a motor pool conversation, so something I'd have to talk to John.
Alba and I have met a company that has saved some counties a lot of money.
And we are always open for options. So
Okay,
please,
thank you.
thank you guys.
Any questions from the public on that?
Approve the purchase and authorize the CAO and designate to execute the purchase of the vehicle.
The second, Tom, those in favor? Opposed? Thank you. Okay, 6.
Okay. Warren, Pete. So my question was, who was, how many people are going on this? How many days is it? How many meals? And, did you check with the Workforce Alliance to maybe help us out with that? And how long has the employee, been working for us?
So I'll start, the employee is one of our Westwood employees, District 1 out there. It's our senior road equipment operator out there. He's been with us approximately 4 or 5 years. He's been there. We've gone through a lot of turnover there, but he's been there through a lot of that turnover. The class is down in Reading. It is about a 4-day, I think it's 3.5, 4 days. 3 days in the classroom and then a day of half day if they get everything tested. So we haven't calculated out the room and board and per diem yet. We just want to make sure we got approval, and that's why there's a not to exceed amount on this one. It is only one employee that's going. I did not reach out recently to Workforce Alliance. Last time they were here talking about it, they didn't qualify, that type of thing. We really want to get this guy through the training. We have it booked for the not booked, but tentatively for the last week of this month. So we're just trying to expedite it. I really didn't want to mess around going through hoops with that organization at this moment. Timeliness is what we're trying to achieve right now. I can ask if they can do a reimbursement on it once we've done it all and say, here's what we did, here's all the qualifications, can you reimburse us?
Any question?
I don't really have questions, statement. I mean, we're short, we need these guys, and I appreciate your willingness to put this through. It's a short course. I mean, you get a commercial license now, it's ridiculous amount of schooling expense that goes through, but I don't know, it's just silly. You could almost get a whole lot easier if you, I'm not even gonna say that. Never
Did you have one?
Yeah, I just asked if you could follow up. Yes, guys, they offered to help us get our employees through, and you heard me. I asked them last time they were here. I said, well, wait a minute, he got a hold of you guys, and he said this and that and qualifications. So I know there's a bunch of hoops on fire, and I appreciate you getting these guys through, but wouldn't hurt to ask for a
Yeah, no, we'll follow up with it. Say, here's a full package, sure that we did.
Any questions? Any questions from the public? Looking for a motion then on 6.
I'll make a motion.
I've got a motion to approve,
second.
and I've got a second by Supervisor Scanlon. Those in favor? Opposed? So moved. Thank you, Pete. Number 7, Outlaw.
Pete, I know that this is a work truck, and I was looking at the breakdown on it, I couldn't figure out why it costs so much. Maybe just explain it if you would, please.
So this is our service truck. It's the one that we have all our tools in. It has the crane on it. So it's a bigger chassis. That's why it's 550. It's a full size utility box on the back of that has all the tools and everything, hand tools, etc.
Is that the not high body?
Yes, yeah. And it's got the
preying on that and everything too. So that it is an expensive add-on. We're in service need of a new service truck to replace the two we have that are low high mileage.
So do you replace the beds on those, the nappies on those? You just need a new chassis or do you need the whole thing, or what do you do with the old ones?
Depends on, we try to still kind of keep them running around, you know, if we need a backup or, you know, the one's out somewhere else, we need to run somewhere, we try to keep it at least somewhat functional. So at a certain point when it's, everything, either the entire truck is shot, because those bodies get a lot repaired.
Okay, I was just curious. I just saw that and like, oh my goodness, it costs more than pickup trucks.
Yeah.
More than two of them.
So anyway, that's just why
Yeah, they're not,
I apologize.
actually,
That's a lot of
it was kind of less than we were expecting, so.
Really? Okay. So the nappi body, does that go out to the CMS bid thing too, or is that, how does that work?
The dealer works through that on that side. They have other option items. When you go in, like the CMAS one, they have option items you can check and ask for. So that's, I'm assuming the dealer, because the dealer bids those extra items when they do the CMAS part of it. So there's usually different upgrades you can get through the dealers when they do their CMAS. I think of some other examples of a bigger item,
So it's,
like winch package or something like that.
so it's still cheaper than buying it individually and say building it yourself then?
For us, I mean, we've done that in the past, with stuff, but we have one mechanic, whereas normally we'd have two and a lead mechanic. So, we don't have really the resources to do a lot of stuff in-house, but we could in the past.
That's all the question.
Any other questions? Any questions?
Yeah, well, so this vehicle is replacing both the service trucks that you have?
Yes, right now, that's gonna be our main service truck, yeah. Sometimes we'll also, to answer that Mr. Almost question, we'll give them out to a different district, and they can kind of upfit it a little bit and use it around there, but it's gonna be our primary one that we'll use countywide. Say we're doing a chip seal project, where, this be the truck that's there all the time.
All right, yeah, because I was just concerned that we had, one mechanic and two service trucks, so. I mean, the one mechanic can only drive one truck. So, but if this is replacing both of them. So you're not gonna replace the other one or what?
At this point, not right now. So we'll have those other ones that we need to get in the point you need them. One of the road equipment operators, they can take a mechanic truck out to, say you got two pieces of equipment down. We'll do that sometimes, the mechanic to one. Sometimes they just need to change a tire on a grader or something. For that, roll out there and do that. Give them some flexibility. But that's the main one that we can rely on is gonna be this big.
Any questions? Any questions from the public?
We award the purchase of a service truck to downtown Sacramento, Florida, and not exceed the amount of $204,000, and authorize the director of public works to execute acquisition document.
We have a motion.
I'll second it.
And I have a second from Supervisor Stanley. Those in favor? Opposed? So moved. Okay, we go to each one.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the board, Madam Clerk. Today we have in front of you the Shasta County contract for the detention of juveniles.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
We see a few of these contracts kind of coming through. Do we have one like with every surrounding county?
We do. What ends up happening is that sometimes a facility might be full and they can't take their youth. So you have to have, contracts with more than one facility, so that you can go through and go to the next one. So we have El Dorado, we have Butte, Kahina, Shasta, and, Sonoma.
Do you have, any idea of how much we've spent in the previous year on all these contracts put together? It's part of the reason we shut down our juvenile facility. It was costing us $1 million. But I keep saying, you said, I'll come through at 250 grand a pop.
It's $250,000 total.
Pardon?
It's $250,000 total.
Right.
So not to each facility. And I can honestly, I don't have the exact amount, but we have never gone over $250,000
Between all
between all of the
the
contracts.
issues.
Yes, so all of the contracts together, can't go over 250,000. It's not just $250,000 for each contract. The lineup, that budget line can't go over $250,000.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Any questions?
This year will be a little bit more expensive because we do have somebody who's spending quite some time. So it'll probably be about $130,000.
Any other questions?
We say ouch to it now, because I see your face, but when we consider the 2.4 million that we were spending on 3 youth, and then taking some of that and reinvesting in probation and taking that other and reinvesting back into the county, $130,000 definitely is less. I just say that for the benefit of the board since not everybody was here back then.
Well, not just that, but more time the juvenile spends in detention, they have more time to think about what they did.
Because there's all more skills.
Well, sometimes
It could go either way.
Sometimes it's that, but I can honestly say legislatively, over the past probably 10 years, it has become extremely difficult to work with juveniles. You can't really book them for anything outside of a misdemeanor. You have the closing of the Division of Juvenile Justice. So now you have a much higher prison population that are being housed in juvenile detention facilities, and they're being housed in them for longer terms. So you have to really be cognizant of the youth that get accepted. And that's part of our problem typically is that because of the population that's inside of one of those juvenile halls is so serious and their offenses are serious and violent that you don't want to take somebody who is very young and naive from our county and who's only committed a misdemeanor to be able to book them. So been very difficult. This year, last legislative year, they made a change to where juveniles can only be wards on probation for 1 year. So that's not enough time to really work with anyone to really create change. You've got about 3 years ago, they had AB 1950 with your adult population, so where you can only have them on probation for misdemeanor offenses for 1 year and 2 years for felony offenses outside of there's some exceptions on that too. So they make it very, very difficult legislatively to work with juveniles and to get them into juvenile detention facilities and to have the amount of time that you need to really create change so that they can become a positive member of the community.
Did you just say youth are only on probation for 1 year?
They can only be a ward for 1 year. Outside of that, once they hit that 1 year mark, the judge has to have grave circumstances in order to continue them for another 6 months. And you have to have hearings every 6 months.
What law number was there?
1376.
It's no different than the school, but they take all the tools away from society. And you can't even paddle a kid anymore. I go down. Flying a kid. But I mean, they've taken the tools away. There's no consequences for bad behavior. It's that.
It's frustrating, I think, for our local law enforcement as well, because they've changed the statuses of a lot of the offenses to where they're just less and less and less each year. So I know this year, hopefully, that people can really pay attention to some of the bills that are coming out and some of the changes that they want to make.
Making your job harder every day, huh?
Yeah.
Insanity.
That's why I'll give you my notice right now. I'm retiring March 15th, 2030.
Oh.
4 years.
Yeah.
Any questions from up here? Any questions from the public? I'm looking for a motion, Mr. Albo.
All right, let's see. I'll move to Which one, the juvenile, I'll move to approve the agreement and authorize the chairman and, CAO to execute the agreement.
Second.
I have a first and a second. Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Have a great day.
Sounds like you're planning retirement already.
I am.
Anyway, that's, we have, number H2.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. I'm here to present to you a job description for Fair Facilities Supervisor. This is a new position. When I came aboard as your fair manager a year ago, we had one fair manager and no middle management. Granted, the department is not huge, but we do utilize a lot of volunteer help, a lot of community service help. And so we have a lot of individuals there throughout the year. And then, of course, during the fair, we have a number of extra help that are county employees. And what we found was that we didn't have a level of middle management to where the fair manager could step away and come to a supervisor's meeting or that sort of thing. And so we didn't have that person on site overseeing what was going on. This job description addresses that and allows the facilities supervisor to direct the individuals that are there working on the grounds, whether it be maintenance or custodial or whatever sort of tasks that need to be done there. So that's why I'm bringing it to you, and I'm asking that you approve the job description. It already went to the bargaining unit and was approved on January 29th. This position was accounted for in our fiscal budget for the year, and that was approved by you folks on the 23rd of September. So there will be no additional fiscal impact to the fair as a result of this.
Mike has him up first.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Mike.
A couple questions, Bill.
Yes, sir.
On page 2 of the job description of the
Yes.
message provided, under supervision received and exercised, the second line says exercises direct supervision over assigned technical, custodial, and supervisory personnel. The supervisor's gonna supervise supervisors, not us, but I mean,
Well, this would be a situation where maybe there's one key person as far as volunteers or the fair board members that they're taking charge of a particular project, and this person would just disseminate the direction and the expectations there.
okay, you know, if that was like a mid-level management thing or something, or what you're trying to do with that, but how does this job description compare with other maintenance supervisors within the county?
This pretty well mirrors the facilities or the grounds maintenance position for the entire county, but we've narrowed the description down to meet the needs of the fairgrounds facility. So it doesn't cover as many miles, but it covers essentially the same sort of tasks that covers.
Great, thank you.
Certainly.
I have, just one.
Yes, sir.
Do you have a fairgrounds employee in mind, that's currently working that knows the fair?
Yes, we do. Yes.
It will compete with anybody else.
Hey, that's
Yeah.
gotta be fair. I understand the job's gotta fly like everything else, and
Right.
everybody gets a crack at it, but I was just
Sure.
curious.
Yeah, so this is in your budget, you say, so is this gonna be taken away from some of your temporary help that you have during the fair time, or
No, this was budgeted in addition to the temporary help.
in addition, this is above and beyond what has been in the past? Okay, And you expect this to be a full-time position?
This would be a full-time position, and I'd like you all to keep in mind that one of the things, through the budgeting process, we decreased our full-time employees by 1.5. So, that savings that we have through that, more than covers the additional in the wages involved in this particular position.
And when do you hope to have this position filled by? Ideal.
4 months ago. As soon as possible. You know, this is something that we wanna move forward on right away. With your approval, we'll go ahead and fly it and then go through the procedure of interviews and hiring that position.
And then this is a fair facility supervisor. What are you doing on the fair facilities? I mean, I know it's a little bit off topic, but I mean, I know the facilities need some work too. And so is that part of your plan with this here to get some of that done?
There's a lot of deferred maintenance there. We have a long list of things that are waiting for attention, and more a matter of just being able to pay for the things that are on that deferred list. We've been working on a lot of cleanup, and that's one of the biggest things that we can do that will make the biggest impact at this point. There's just a lot of stuff that's been left, discarded, kind of on the outskirts, and we're working on that. Had a lot of down limbs, a lot of down trees during the Christmas storm. That's all cleaned up. So, you know, along with the little projects that have to be done immediately, we had some siding boards blow off of one building that's been repaired. So it's an ongoing list.
Any other questions?
So this job is, in line with, what the, building and grounds superintendent, is this the same pay as what that position is?
That is correct, yes.
Yeah.
Any other questions? Any questions from the public?
Building and grounds superintendent.
I'd like to just say I thank you for,
What's the
you're
whole count?
really paying attention to your reorganization and trying to get as much bang for your buck. And I noticed that with your building, and it doesn't go unnoticed, so thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, I'm looking for a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the job description for fair facilities supervisor.
Okay, I have a motion,
I'll second that.
and I have a second. Those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Thank you, Will.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Okay. Each. How you been?
Doing that.
I got it right, fine.
Yes, you did. Thank you. I appreciate it. So I'm Tiffany Armstrong, Lassen County Behavioral Health. So I'm here today to do report on an amendment to our Kingsview Professional Services contract. We unfortunately left off one of the ARER, annual revenue and expenditure reports, and that was for 23-24. They brought it to our attention. They said, hey, by the way, you forgot to put that particular one. We did it for you. They did do it for us. So I'm here today to go ahead and see if we can amend that contract so we can get that approved, so we can go ahead and pay them for that, doing our ARER for that particular time frame.
Okay, do I have any questions?
I got one question.
Go ahead.
In the, agenda item, it says it's for, July 1st, 2025, but you're going back to 23-24.
Correct. They went backwards. The state had us do, for the past 10 years, we're going through and doing all 10 years worth of cost reports. It's not fun, trust me, not fun at all. So we've asked them to do only for the MHSA and for the SUD portion. So they did the ARER for us for the 23-24. And so we are going to probably, if you see for next year, we'll probably continue and do a new contract with them for all the new cost reports going forward. And the reason for it is, I think most of you know, we're still without, the department still doesn't have a fiscal officer. We're, you know, limping along, but we still have to use that expertise outside. Because even if I brought in a new person today as a fiscal officer, they would not have the expertise to do cost reports or ARERs. It's way beyond even my level of trying to figure out stuff from 8 years ago, 6 years ago, 4 years ago, even 2 to 3 years ago. So I give them kudos for Kingsview to step up and be a partner with us to get these done and get them off to the state.
You can get reimbursed from the state for this because. I was so stupid.
Well, you know what really makes me mad is that some of these things were, you know, never done by the state for the past 10 years. And now all of a sudden it's like, oh my gosh, the feds are telling us we have to do it. So by the way, by golly, all of you counties are going to get them done. So we've been frantically getting through a lot of our cost reports at a like a high paced speed. And it's very frustrating for us because we don't have the manpower like other counties do to put these together. And it is cumbersome. And no, the state does not reimburse us for any of this.
You try to send them a bill?
I could. I mean,
What's it gonna hurt? What do you do? Say no?
Department of Healthcare Services, please pay us. I could. I mean, it's not to say that I couldn't pay my.
Drop the levy.
I know we're playing the date game here a little bit. In the supporting documentation, it does describe 23, 24 years that you're making up for.
Yeah.
In the agenda item, it says that we're doing this for July 1st, 2025 to 26. So is this money going to go back to pay the other stuff and you have to come back again for the 2025, 26? Or how's that split?
I'm just talking about the ARER for 23, 24. It's in this particular current contract
What's
that we,
included?
it's included in the current contract that we have with them. Now, as we finish up this fiscal year, I will have to start a new contract with for professional services for new cost reports for new ARERs. But for right now, this is just that particular one for this particular fiscal year.
Okay. This is just an amendment, right?
Correct. It's just an amendment.
To get that.
Mm-hmm.
Are you actively trying to recruit a fiscal officer
Yes.
for your department? And
Oh, absolutely.
how? Where are you trying to recruit?
Well, we have it posted. It's constantly being posted. They had to go back in. Remember, they would had to revise the updated version of the fiscal officer because the one that was in the past, it was very confusing for a lot of people who applied for it. They didn't know what they were applying for. And then they came back here. We updated the fiscal officer position. So now it's being flown. It's kind of on a rotating basis. It's just the job description itself is very hard to attract people when they have to realize what the knowledge base that they're getting themselves into. It's pretty extreme.
I get that. You said it's posted. Posted where exactly are we?
I think it's posted on our website.
Just on the county website only?
That's what I think.
I know it's over there, Dad.
Yeah, I know the last I saw it was a few months ago. I know it was posted a few months ago. I know they did recruitment. I was actually on the interview board for one, and I know I think it was public health or social services that got particular. There's just not enough people applying for it, unfortunately.
So I get it. It's just like there, but we need to get to a fiscal officer.
We do, most
We've
definitely.
been about one quite a while.
Yeah, it'll be 2 years in April.
Yeah. Any other questions? Any questions from the public? Looking for a
Just
motion.
one question.
Oh, go ahead.
You can help us draft a letter to the state to get one.
If you want to spend county time, you know, paying me to send a letter that will go to the round file. Sure.
The round file.
I'd just love to see what they say.
Make a motion to approve the amendment to the agreement with Kings County View Professional Services and authorize the county administrative officer to execute the amendment.
Second.
I have a first and a second. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I was gonna have to put in an amendment. Have Tiffany send the state a bill.
I'm going to round file too. Okay.
But it passed without amendments. Sorry.
H
You lucked
five.
out, Andrew.
H5.
So this is the amendment to the enhanced case manager position. So we actually have an MOU with partnership for enhanced case management. This is just an amendment to it. We've never actually really partnered with partnership in the last year for the enhanced case management. But things are changing with MHSA as we move forward. So I think that the emphasis is that we will have to look into partnering with partnership to start enhanced case management for our department. I've been kind of putting it off because we've been tapping into MHSA funds. Like I said, MHSA is going away and we're gonna have to seek other services when we look at for enhanced case management. And it's usually looking for more of our when we do outreach and focus on folks that are not hooked up to partnership Medi-Cal. So we'll be looking specifically for indigent populations, going out and doing a lot of outreach to those folks to make sure that we can get them set up into the system for partnership Medi-Cal.
What percentage of your clients are on Medi-Cal and do partnership?
Well, so far, all of our clients are Medi-Cal. What we're looking at is when we go out and do outreach in the streets for homelessness, a lot of those are not in our system, and that's what we're gonna be primarily targeting. When we do like enhanced case management, when we go out and like service outlying areas for folks that might have slipped through the system, who are not on partnership Medi-Cal. Is getting them hooked up into it. But yeah, everybody at Lassen County Behavioral Health has partnership Medi-Cal.
We should definitely be partnered with partnership.
Yeah, so you can't get into our system without being, but this is a separate contract. This is a separate MOU that would be specific for them to pay us to do enhanced case management. Which just sounds silly, you can already do case management. This is enhanced case management. So it's a little bit, kind of like, who are we enhancing for our population? Well, it's the folks that are slipping through the cracks, the ones that are not getting into our services. And maybe they recently moved here, maybe they forgot about getting, hooked up into managed care in terms of partnership. Like that would be our goal for our case markers, is to really go out there and target that population.
So who's getting $100?
Would be us. It would be a huge revenue, but at least we would be getting a little bit to come in to compensate for our time actually going out and doing these outreach. A lot of times, we don't get a whole lot of pay when we go out into the outreach communities and doing just engagement. So this is a little bit of revenue for us to bring through the door. It won't be a lot. It won't be,
Better than a deficit.
It is exactly it. I will have better numbers next year to see if it's worth it for us to continue with them, or is it really, a lot of work, but not the pay isn't justifying the work that we have to do. So we will look at this for the whole year and then decide, come back and say, do we want to continue this, or is it just really not worth it? Because we are getting payment on the other side of it, which is paying for just Medi-Cal services.
Yeah.
So this QUIC program, you're not gonna get much money. You said how much money you're gonna get out of this, do you anticipate?
It's like $100 per person or something. It's very limited.
Is it a one-time unique?
Yeah, it's usually or they give you up to a certain amount of times of an engagement, but we haven't really looked into it. My hope is that we'll go into it, we'll see how it works, see how much revenue, but what I'm really looking at is how much administrative cost is gonna occur with this as we move forward with it. If it's too much administrative cost, then I can say, hey, look, we liked it, but it's just not working for us or our department. But as MHSA is now going away, I have to look at other avenues to compensate for our outreach in our community so that we can at least reimburse for our staff time.
So the MHSA funds we were just talking about, is this like a realignment thing where you have to do the same thing with less money?
No, MHSA is kind of being reorganized. It's going to call it the BHSA Behavioral Health Services Act. I'll be coming forward probably the next month or two about that. What is going to happen is that they're going to really allocate certain funding to certain things for homeless and outreach, very specific buckets of pots that'll be coming forward. Not like our traditional sense that we had prevention, early intervention under MHSA, community services and supports, or I could send out staff out into the community to do homeless and outreach. And I would just draw down the funding from that. As the pots get smaller and more focused on very, very specific items, I'm not going to have the luxury of being able to send out a whole crew out into the homeless community to be able to engage folks to get them into services. That's why it would be kind of important for us to look into partnering with partnership specifically for enhanced case management. So we'll see.
Yeah, I see where you're going. It's just, the state's just.
We're not gonna come out of it.
You never know. My goal here is that in a year's time, we can come and say, look, this was great. It was truly a benefit for our department. Or I can come here and say, wow, that was great. That wasn't fun. I don't want to do that again. But we won't know until we try.
Yeah, you'll have the proofs in the.
Absolutely. We want to see really how much are we, with the amount of engagement that we can possibly do in outreach, what would it look like for the money and reimbursement? And how long will it take for that reimbursement to come to us? That's more what I'm
Another
concerned
big-
about. Yeah.
Any
I said it
questions
clean.
for
How long will
Courtney?
it take?
Any questions from the public? I'm looking for a motion to.
I make a motion to approve the amendment with partnership health plan. Health plan.
I have a motion from
And authorize the county administrative officer to execute the agreement.
Supervisor Scanlon. Have a second.
Also,
I have a second from Supervisor Alba. Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you, quickly.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. Thank you.
So one shot, next time I'm gonna vote no.
No
I
worries.
got a motion out of this guy. I don't know what you did.
H7.
Okay, board, I will handle this for, county office. So this is before you, an item to ratify the MOU between Lassen County and Lassen County Peace Officers Association. This is the culmination of several months of negotiations between the county and the bargaining unit. And the bargaining unit has already ratified the agreement. They did that on Friday, February 2nd, or 6th, apologies. And just to highlight, this is a 2-year agreement with the union. It provides a COLA with a 4% retroactive to July of 2025 for the first year. The second year will have a COLA that will be based on the consumer price index with a minimum amount of 2% increase with a maximum of 4%, depending upon what that CPI comes out. The MOU does provide for some additional uniform allowances for certain motor pool and supervisor positions, technicians in the sheriff's office. And the longevity has been approved to improve employees with 25 years of service can now get 3.5% of a bump versus the 2.5. And some additional other various changes that were required to comply with state law regarding new leaves. So with that, yes, the board, all the changes have been made in compliance with the board's direction in negotiations, and we request that you approve.
Well, I got your question on this. So as your thumb through this, you got like a little yellow box with some lines drawn through it, and some of them don't make a lot of sense. Like page 11 of 61.
Mhm.
You look at that one.
E11.
Well, if you look down at the bottom of the page, you know, shall increase and be, are you taking out the 4%?
No, that is a function of, if you click on that yellow box, that will tab over to the comment section.
Ah,
So that, those aren't red lines, those aren't strikes, those are the function of the PDF software. So what you should have in your agenda and in the record is a clean copy of the MOU, and the MOU, the PDF version of the MOU may retain some of the comments between county and the bargaining unit.
Okay, I see. Okay, that makes sense because we took out half of relations and all that, but it made no sense to me. So thank you for explaining. Now I see it.
I don't know. And then actually, I think you can even drag those yellow boxes around.
You're teaching some old dogs new tricks.
This guy, cool.
yeah, it is. This is exactly how you got it done. What we never thought.
Any other questions? Any questions from the public? Think for a motion then,
Is the motion written right? Do I just ratify the
or do
MOU?
we just ratify? Yeah.
Well, yes, the request would be to ratify, which is to approve the MOU. The, like I said, the bargaining unit has already done their part of approving the agreement on, last Friday. And there was obviously the second section, option would be to provide additional direction, however, our request would be to approve.
Right. I'll make a motion to ratify the MOU with the Lassen County Peace Officers Association.
I have a motion.
I'll second
And I have a second by Supervisor Scanlon. Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Number H8. Information for the Board of Supervisors.
No information for the board. I will be gone, as I mentioned last week. Next week, and Sam will be at the helm, and you'll be in good hands. And that's all I have.
And then, board next week, Gretchen Stewart from my office will be sitting with you.
So I guess we're gonna be going back into the closed session. Do we need to announce that again?
Yeah, it would probably be beneficial for the public. So the continued items that will be going into closed session would be the employee performance evaluation, compensation officer, and the liability claim, and it just a newly agency claim against county.
Okay. I'm gonna take a 5-minute break to go into closed session.